Eamon O'Carroll, what's the review been like post Barrow Raiders at the weekend? I presume it's been a very clear, open and honest review. Clearly that second half collapse was not acceptable.
No, yeah, exactly that. Just we got a lot out of our review, not just what we're doing wrong, but when we do things right. It was a real tough one to take because we feel like we just self-imploded, and we've done that a number of times this year. I feel like I'm sort of reinforcing them same messages, and I more asked the group questions than delivered anything to them today. I thought we needed answers. So Monday was a tough day, but an important day. We needed to make sure that we came out of that with absolute clarity and seen what we're doing to ourselves and what we do to ourselves when we're on as well. So I felt like I needed to give the players answers and show them the route out. So we broke our review up into two parts, seeing all the stuff where we're killing ourselves, and then went and did our training, our recovery and what we needed to do, and then finished with, I won't say a positive, but just reinforced, when we're kicking the ball back to the opposition, when we're ultra disciplined, we're a difficult team to beat. When we don't respect the ball, when we don't respect the opposition, we struggle, so we need to be better in that aspect. And that carried on into Wednesday as well. We had a really good meeting. Just kind of reinforced some of the messages that we spoke about when I first came here and the reasons why the players want to be successful this year and how lucky they are to represent a club like Bradford, how lucky we all are to do that. So I felt that was a really good session, and then we went out and trained really well. So I just said to the group, we've got a choice. We can look back at this last couple of weeks and come the end of the season and go, it's the best thing that happened to us because it gave us the rocket that we needed. Or we can look back and go, that we really hurt ourselves. So I've got the utmost confidence in the group. I've seen the response from them, and just reinforce, it's important that we don't completely forget about it. We do have to move on, but we've got to use it as fuel now.
What areas of the performance have you highlighted and have you said to the side that there does need to be work on?
Yeah, not so much technical, just the more of us panicking. We'll go up and with some field positions, we score some nice tries. I thought we've practiced, and then I don't know whether we feel that it's almost going to be too easy, and then we play like we're under pressure when we don't really need to. We force things, we have a lack of patience, and that was reinforced with vision as well. So I think we completely kill ourselves. The most disappointing thing to me was, and for us as a group, was just probably more our response to the adversity. Well, of course we're going to make errors, of course we'll give penalties away, we want to give less of them away. But it was more our response. We referenced the game at Toulouse and the game here at Wakefield. I think we could have still been playing Toulouse now, and I think we wouldn't have given. We'd have still keep turning up for each other. So I just think now is time to back our words up with action.
I'm guessing it's the $1 million question. Why can't the side player perform for a full 80-minute performance? Because you've clearly highlighted those great performances this season. Toulouse home and away, Wakefield first half of the 1895 Cup semi-final, and then the first half of the league game.
Yeah, there's probably a couple of contributing factors there, and I don't want them to sound like excuses, but we've had a lot of turnover of players, not been able to select the same team, week in, week out, every single team. When I look back at it over the last couple of weeks, every single time there's a change to the squad, and it's not just one or two, it's 4 or 5. So that certainly doesn't help. But then we have to be honest, it's mental attitude. It's trusting in what works for us, knowing that, which we do know, and then having the mental capacity to go and execute it for a full 80 minutes.
Do you feel the side Eamon are conscious of the consequences of what I would perceive as 7 points that have been thrown away this season, that ultimately, could hurt the side when we come to the business end at the end of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. And we probably spoke about that every single loss. I said to the group, a couple of games we've lost where we've gone out swinging and we've left everything out on the field. I'm okay with that. Yeah, obviously I want to win every game, but I understand we're playing in a tough competition. When we play Wakefield, we walk off with a different feeling, knowing that we're still trying to do our best. We're digging in for each other, and that's what's really important to me when we're valuing those effort areas and we're working hard. We don't always get it right technically, but someone turns up to get the mate out of trouble, and we probably lacked that the last couple of weeks. And like I said to you, the most frustrating thing for me was was our response to when things went against us. Every single try we conceded was off the back of an error or a penalty. So yeah, it's a huge one. I don't think we were, really ill-disciplined. Barrow gave away more penalties, and I think we made one more error than them, but they capitalised on all of that.
Are you happy with yourself, Eamon, that your messages and how you're delivering them to the team are clear and understandable?
Yeah, well, I asked the group that. I think it's really important when we're doing our reviews. A lot of it, certainly Monday, I'm putting it on them. Wednesday, we had a good chat, and then I just asked them, right, what do you need from me, and got some real honest feedback from them, which was good. And one thing I'm confident about is that they understand the messages that I'm giving them. They understand that when we do that as a collective, and that transfers out into the field, that we're generally on the right side of the result. We don't practice throwing the ball, to the opposition. We don't practice knocking on at the play of the ball. Those things happen. What we didn't do was respond positively to that. We kind of went in our shells, which is a concern, but I'm confident that we'll come through the other side of that.
Just one win now in the last 5. How much of a worry is that form for you? Well,
it'll be a worry if we continue that way. When we spoke on Wednesday, it was about making sure we look back at the end of the season and going, this was the best thing that happened to us. It really drove us on. Now we've got a really exciting block coming up with 8 games, 2 4-game blocks, and we know what we need to do to come out of that in the best possible position. But again, very honest from the players. They spoke well on Wednesday, but what they said was talk is cheap. We need to back that up with action now.
There is some good news on the player availability front this week. George Tafua, Aribidoro back from suspension, and I'm kind of guessing Jaden Myers will be fit and ready after his failed HIA last week.
Yeah, some good additions back into the squad, which I think we need. We need to change it up and bring an element of freshness to it. Not just that, but those are all experienced players. When you speak about George, just goes out there and does his job, competes extremely hard. Aribe has been our best player all year, and he's really disappointed to have missed the last couple, and we've certainly missed him as well. And we've got Michael Lawrence back in the mix as well, who's our captain and just does his job, and not only does that, but helps the people around him, which again I think we've missed.
You mentioned Michael Lawrence. Just how close is he this weekend? And if he is given the green light, that leadership at times has been missed in the past last few months.
Yeah, that's why he's our captain. It's not just what he does on the field, it's what he does off. It's his talk, it's his calmness, it's the way people will follow him. So yeah, Bruno will be in the mix. He's going to play. We're not going to. He's worked really hard to get back. He's fit as he's ever been, and he's desperate to help the team.
Just on George Tafua and Aribidoro, has there been an acceptance that they've been suspended when obviously the side has been riddled with all these injuries, which the injury crisis, and which has obviously you've not had that availability to change and freshen stuff up?
Yeah, look, suspension's a part and parcel of it. George is, we understand that that's a ban. I was really disappointed with the Aribe one. I thought he was unlucky there, but that's where the game's at the current moment, and a good lesson for us all, because we understand that when we're losing key individuals, it's hurting us as a team. So I'm hopeful now that we can go into this next game blocks with an element of consistency in terms of who we're selecting. I'm in a position this week where I can rest people as well, which I've not been able to do, and drop people as well from the performance. So look, that's the first time we've been able to do that this year, and I think the best teams have the ability to rest people and not pick people based on performance, and we've not had that this year. So like I said, it's going to have an element of freshness to it now, and people will be held accountable.
Just on that competition for places, how has that affected the team and your ability to change things when there has been a poor performance, and what changes will you be looking to make for 2025, so you've got that competition for places on an almost sort of weekly basis, which you've not been blessed with this year?
No, we've not. We've had an element of being unlucky in that. Some things were totally out of our hands. We've addressed some of the things we feel like we could have probably done better. Like I said, we've had a big turnover of players, all been forced, to be honest with you, but we've been looking to bring in some quality as well. So we want to have that consistency next year, and how we're building our squad is going to be really important in terms of how we do that, and then what we do around training as well.
Jack Smith went off injured late in the second half. What's the latest with him?
No, he's alright. Jack didn't actually go off. He stayed down for a period, but he just took a bang to the knee, which was quite sore, but came through okay.
And Chester Butler, the club put out an injury update. It looked like he was probably ahead of Michael a couple of weeks back, but since then he suffered a setback.
Yeah, just probably not progressing as quickly as we like. But I actually had a phone call with Chesney this morning, and he's woke up feeling really positive after a real tough couple of days in terms of his rehab and running. So he wants to try and push things now, but we'll be smart with it.
I'm guessing it's still an unknown ETA for him to return.
Yeah, I think so. I would imagine in the next couple of weeks.
On Whitehaven this weekend, Eamon, what's the message to the team ahead of, probably not must win, but certainly in terms of where the season's at, you know, it'd certainly be a relieving win.
No, it is a must win. Like, it is a must win for us as a group. Anything but a win. That we will be unacceptable. Like, we have to go and win this game. You know, they're obviously going through a bit clearly at the minute, which is dangerous for us. I think they'll come here with an element of freedom and confidence, having watched our last couple of games. So, big one for us. But now, mate, this is a must win.
Is that firm, the message this week?
Yeah,
This is a must win.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, we're not limping into this. We either learn from what's happened and crack on, or, like I said, there'll be changes. But I'm probably attitude a little bit different now towards the back end of this week. Now I've spent some time with the group. Felt like I really needed to get my hands on them on Wednesday. Drove home feeling not overly confident, but happy with the response that we've got, and just seeing that look in their eye that they're desperate to do something special this year. And although we've tripped up a couple of times, that opportunity is still there. If we keep doing it, then it won't be.
We know Whitehaven are doing it tough. I'm not sure if you've watched it, Eamon, but there was a very sort of desperate and equally passionate video from their chairman saying they can't pay the players, they can't pay HMRC and the tax bills. Clearly they are going to be coming here very wounded, but like you've just alluded to, you know, they do have a bit of freedom, and that makes them very dangerous.
Yeah, I think every team that plays us now will kind of feel that if we're not on, then they're in a game. So really sad what's happening up there at Whitehaven. They're a great club with some really good people. So, you know, no one wants to see that in the game. There's an element we feel for them, but we're focusing on ourselves. Regardless of who we're playing this week, we have to go and perform.